Robin Williams was an actor best known for playing the absolute shit out of the Genie in Aladdin, a role he owned so hard it's hard to imagine anybody else playing it. Oddly, despite Williams' performance being the most memorable aspect of the film, his initial role was very limited. So limited, in fact, that Williams himself was surprised at how much of the film he was in, and in particular, how much of the film's advertising, something he complained about so much, Disney gave him $1 million painting to stop complaining. And nearby Lucas, you love you some Disney.
I do indeed.
You're wearing a shirt with Disney on it right now.
I've got a Mushu t-shirt on right now, yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing I'm not kidding, he's wearing a Disney. Lucas is a Disney to the core. I've been to his house, and I want to say 90% of the knickknacks and stuff you have around your house are Disney themed in some way.
I mean, that might just be because Disney own 90% of things now, but yes, yeah.
Of all the people involved in the channel, because he used to be the Disney aficionado, and as such, would you like to comment on Aladdin, the animated version, or the live action version?
Oh, the animated version is like absolutely fantastic. And I know there is like that content warning at the start of like some things haven't aged too well. But, you know, obviously Robin Williams is just incredible in it.
It's his best performance, yeah. And the thing I love about that content warning is when they made the live action remake, did you ever see any of the casting calls for the live action remake? Well, this is a fun bonus fact. Actually, I shouldn't use the descriptor fun because it's not fun, but it is quite interesting, and it shows how limited the hiring pool for minorities is in Hollywood. They filmed much of the live-action Aladdin on sound stages in London. And because Aladdin is set, you know, in a vaguely Middle Eastern area, they needed Middle Eastern actors. Well, they couldn't find any because they needed Middle Eastern actors who specifically could do things like work with camels. And because they couldn't find any Middle Eastern actors who could also work with camels, they painted some of their extras brown.
No.
Yes, they did.
Oh no.
So they had casting calls where they were like writing on them, you will be, if you are not Middle Eastern, we'll make it work. And that was code for, we painted them brown. It's one of those things where if you think about it, you probably already knew that was the case. You probably knew that Hollywood was like super, super white.
Oh,
but
well, yeah.
When they literally can't get enough people with darker skin complexions to just fill out like a bizarre scene. But Lucas, to bring it back to the point made in the intro, like as you mentioned, Robin Williams is fantastic in that film. It's probably the most memorable aspect of it.
Yeah, probably. And there's other great parts of that movie, like Jafar is fantastic. I love the magical carpet, obviously, like Aladdin himself and the other cast members, like they are good, but
they're not the Genie.
They're not the Genie.
Also, like that magic carpet, that crawled so Doctor Strange's cape could run. The idea they gave a cape personality. It's like Disney. Like, what are you doing? Like, when it comes, like, it started, oh, what about if toys were alive? What about if cars were alive? What about if planes were alive? What about if the essence of your soul also had a soul? It's like, wait, what? Because we're now at a point where Disney is anthropomorphizing metaphysical concepts. And one of the things it might be hard for people at home to believe, given how prominent Robin Williams' Genie is in the Aladdin film, Williams' initial involvement with Aladdin was supposed to be very, very limited. So much so that the actor agreed to appear in the film for scale. For people who don't know, is acting jargon for the lowest amount Williams could legally be paid as per his union contract, which meant that Robin Williams was paid the grand total of $75,000 for appearing in the film, which is, admittedly, it's a lot of money, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good chunk of money, but I imagine for A-list Hollywood star like 90s Robin Williams,
yes,
that was a pittance.
Yeah, so for anyone curious, at the time, Robin Williams could command $8 million for his time.
Fucking hell.
So he took effectively like a 95% or more pay cut to appear in the film. And his reasoning is adorable, as you might expect, because it's Robin Williams. And he went, well, I wanted to be part of the Disney legacy. I wanted to leave something behind for my children and my children's children. And then Disney decided to fuck him all the way over because Disney's gone to Disney. It makes you feel bad, doesn't it?
It does. It's
it
like,
does.
Oh, it's the most magical place on earth that's going to scalp you for every penny you've got. Yay! So were there any other, like, you know, caveats or anything in that contract other than I get paid no money?
Yes, and Williams was very, very specific about like what he wanted from Disney in return for appearing in the film for so much less than his usual astronomical fee. And that was simply, I don't want to be in more than 25% of the film or its advertising. I do not want to be a prominent part of that. I do not like the idea of my likeness and my voice being used to advertise things.
Definitely didn't stick to that one.
Yes, it's because Disney realised like just how hard Robin Williams had owned the role. Because the off-cited fact about Robin Williams' performance as the Genie is that he recorded 30 hours of usable dialogue for the Genie.
A doorstop would be a fabulous career.
Not bad! Good night, Alice!
Come on, kid. See? Gotta get the snake, see? I never did it. I am not at fault.
I don't care what I am. I'm free!
Offer void, we're prohibited by law.
Yeah, and then it was like the animators had to animate him rather than him voicing an animation.
Yeah, because they realised the stuff he was doing was solid gold, and one of the tidbits from behind the scenes is that there's so much stuff we could do an R-rated cut of Aladdin if we wanted to. Because a lot of the stuff Robin Williams did was quite blue, and we didn't use that, but that's when he was riffing, when he was like having fun with the other people in the voice booth. So there is supposedly a R-rated cut of Aladdin out there somewhere we're not allowed to see because Disney will never let it see the light of day.
Release the Aladdin cut, Karl.
Release the Williams cut.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And because I know someone in the comments is going to say it, almost all of that dialogue was improvised. Because it's Robin fucking Williams.
Of course,
almost
yeah.
everything he did was improvised. He got his start in Hollywood due to the fact he just would not shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
We've talked about another fact theme video before. They had to be censored in 4 languages. Because he was fluent in several languages and conversational in several more. And while he was playing the alien Mork in Mork and Mindy, he would speak alien language, which was just him speaking a bunch of gibberish in other languages, which included swear words. Bringing it back to that 30 hours of dialogue that Robin Williams recorded, that is part of the reason Disney ended up just going back on that contract they signed with him, because they just realised there's so much stuff here and so much of it is solid gold. And that led to a very poignant quote, which I think sums up the entire situation. Robin went in with a trio and came out with a symphony. All Disney did was hire an orchestra to play it. Oh, and that's such a good quote. That's such a poetic quote.
That is.
About fucking over a guy.
Yeah.
Because they fucked him over. Because like, they did have a contract and they did go back on it. And Robin Williams was real fucking pissed. And something else that Disney did that Robin Williams really did not like is they took some of that unused dialogue, because obviously the Genie is just him. Meaning that all the dialogue he recorded as himself sounds like the Genie. And they took some of that unused dialogue and then edited it around to put it into advertisements for burgers and toys.
Oh no. I thought you were just going to say to promote the film.
No.
Oh, fuck him.
And here's the thing, because in the contract, Williams said, I'll do it all for $75,000. They didn't have to pay him any extra money. And as mentioned, they had like 30 hours of material to work with. So from that, you can cobble together the Genie saying pretty much anything, which they did, and used it to make it sound like the Genie was selling stuff, which Robin Williams did not like. And someone asked him about this, like, well, they sold toys of you as Mork. Like Mork the alien, you can buy toys, you can buy lunch boxes with your face on it. Why is this any different? And Williams' response was pretty restrained, given like, you know, how obviously he was being fucked over by a multi-billion-dollar company. He said, well, I was playing a character in that show. When the Genie is just me, that's my voice. They're using my voice to sell shit, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, because when you remove the Genie from it, it's still Robin Williams.
Yes. To the point where, as you mentioned, the animators scrapped everything they had for the Genie and started animating around Williams' performance instead of asking Williams to base his performance around the animation they'd done. Like something that was completely unheard of at the time, and it's still a rarity even today.
I was going to say, yeah, that's not normally the case even now.
No, it's only because like his performance was that good, they scrapped everything.
So, like you mentioned at the start, there was something to do with $1 million like painting.
Yes, because Williams was very, very annoyed about Disney doing this, very understandably, and was speaking to anyone who'd listen about Disney being a bunch of dicks. And Disney didn't like this because effectively the star of the film is in the press saying Disney sucks, and that's not good for them. And they initially tried to counter Williams' complaints by saying that he was just annoyed, he's just salty. He's salty that he didn't ask for more money and now the film's a big success. And that's one of those things where you look at that and go, well, obviously that's bullshit. This was an animated Disney movie in the 90s. Of course it was going to be successful. Williams just didn't want to ask for money because he wanted to be part of it for his kids. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing as well, because they're arguing against probably like the most adorable reason for appearing in a film. It just makes them look worse. And they realised that it did, so they quickly changed tack after that and just tried to buy Williams off. And they sent him a $1 million painting by Picasso.
Fucking hell.
And you'd think that would have shut Williams up, but he didn't like it. And the stated reason why is fucking amazing. And Lucas, would you like to just hazard a guess at why Robin Williams did not like the painting? And I'll give you a clue.
Okay.
It has something to do with how it fit into his home.
Was it just that it didn't fit the decor of his house?
Yes, Lucas, that's exactly right. But the reason why it didn't fit the decor of his house is because his house was just so fucking swagged out. And the painting, by comparison, was so fucking boring that I didn't want it. just the idea that it just did not suit he swagged out decor, and he hated it for that reason. And he felt that was more insulting on Disney's part because they just sent him something that he clearly did not like because they thought, oh, we can buy him off with his paint. And he, for a while, joked about burning the painting on national TV. He never did because he said, well, I don't like the painting, but it's very obviously worth a lot of money.
Oh, God. I know, if I remember right, it's like for Aladdin 2, he didn't voice the Genie.
Yes, he did not come back, but he came back for the sequel to that one.
Yeah, like the third Aladdin one, because they'd made up by then.
Yes, and do you want to know why that's the case? Do you want to know that happened?
Did they send him like 2 Picasso paintings instead?
They did not now. Well, it's not that they sent him more money, it's that someone at the company finally nutted up and just apologised.
Oh, so they just wanted an apology?
Yeah, they apologised publicly to Williams for what they did. And the thing is, though, the person who made the decision had already left the company by that point. Which means that just one stubborn bastard at Disney stopped them from having Williams reprise his role as the Genie. Because if they'd have just apologised publicly, they'd have got him back, and they didn't.
Wasn't it like the voice of Homer that did it, or something like that?
I think it was, yes.
Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly.
And yeah, that's a great voice actor, but he's not fucking Robin Williams.